We all remember the advertising logos and signs we grew up with. Many helped create a lot of childhood memories. I'll never forget the very first time we ate at the Golden Arches. That's why today, when we see those signs from our past, they fill us with nostalgia and appear much more now like works of art. For this collector, guys, we're on the road to San Antonio. Whoa, wait, there's a Buc-ee's. There's a lot of great things about living in Texas. 1, tacos. 2, barbecue. 3, kolache. And 4, Buc-ee's, which is basically a convenience store on steroids. Now back on the road. This is Philip, a retired broadcast engineer with an amazing collection. How would you describe your collection in this house?
It's like a shotgun of everything. You know, you just find something that interests you and go from there, start from there. Next thing you know, you go to flea markets and you start picking up this and that and something else draws your interest, you know, and you just start adding. Pick one item a week, your house started getting full quick.
What was ground zero for this collection? What was the first thing you bought and then all of a sudden you went, this is cool, I gotta have another.
Lunchboxes, to be honest with you. It was a Pac-Man and an E.T. Cost me maybe 20 bucks if I was. Next thing you know, I was collecting other things, toys, wind-ups, battery ops, you know, things like that, and the collection just started growing.
His Texas home is filled with all sorts of vintage advertising signs, clocks, neon, hard-to-find beer signs, including this one with its own fish and mermaid. You'll also find some rare advertising statues, and even a merry-go-round horse. There's also a large number of movie and music posters. But we're going to start with a very rare print and a piece from a historic music venue that doesn't even exist anymore. So I want to talk to you about this print right here. You were telling me some very interesting things about this in particular. What's the story behind this?
Oh, it's a Tom Everhart lithograph. There's only 350 in existence. It took me a long time to figure it out what it was until a couple of people did their homework for me. It's numbered there with a slash of which one it is. And it's out of existence now. In other words, the art galleries don't even have it anymore. Like if say somebody wants one of these Tom Everharts, it's called The Last Supper. They would have to contact the art dealership. The art dealership would try to contact somebody who has one and make an offer to buy it off of their hands. When I first got it, a guy told me, do you know what you got? I said, no, I don't even know. I just needed to fill up some space over the sofa. And it looked cool. I got to the flea market late. I walked around. It kept getting my eye. And the two gentlemen there were Hispanic. And I said, ¿Cuánto por esta cosa? And they said, well, 25, which means 25 bucks. And I said, well, you take 20. And now I feel bad. Years later, I went back on the internet. Many, many years later, it was at 11,000. Now it's up. My son did the homework on it. It's up to 18 grand. So,
you got this at a flea market.
At a flea market. At a flea market. Believe there are treasures to be found. It's just that don't be anxious to be there at the crack of dawn. This came to me about 9:30 in the morning. I was late that morning. I woke up late, and just that flea market doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, it's one of them. It's a rare thing that happens, but it does happen.
If you know anything about the old music history of Austin, the Armadillo World Headquarters is an iconic, birthplace of a lot of very famous Texas musicians. Tell us about that sign right there.
I went there a few times myself back in the 70s, back when, you know, it was just a nice place to go, really. I never even noticed that sign. But once it shut down, you know, everybody's heart's broken, this and that, and I would get posters of artists from Armadillo World Headquarters. But one day, I was in Bandera, Texas, believe it or not, and there was a little area of collectibles in this one place, and I saw that and I said, Armadillo, that's gotta be Armadillo World Headquarters. And when I saw the picture, I said, this is the real deal. But when I saw the price, I said, no, I'm not going there, I'm not going there. But it interests me so much that it's one of those things that you can't sleep at night, gotta have it type of thing. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that item up, but I'm gonna go make an offer. So I went over there. The lady called the woman who owned it, and she says, "You tell that young man that I'll be over there momentarily. I'm going between ranches." When she showed up, she had all these diamond rings. And well, I was a hippie at one time, and you're getting the real deal. And she showed me all that paperwork.
Yeah.
She said, "This is the real deal. I was at the auction. I bought it from Armadillo World Headquarters, and it's the exit sign." And I saw the picture of the hippies going in and out under and she gave me the number, everything, and it's one of those one-of-a-kind items that you're just never going to see again.
That's a museum piece. A large part of Philip's collection features these beautiful vintage porcelain enamel signs, which leads us to today's collector class. With all the reproductions out there, how can you tell if a porcelain sign is original? First, run your hands over the sign to see if the letters and images are raised. These signs were originally produced in layers of enamel porcelain. If it's smooth, it may be a repro. The image should be crisp and clear. These old signs were produced by skilled workers. The newer signs are printed in mass and often look blurry up close. And 3, do your research. Find out how it was originally displayed. How the sign was originally used would decide where the holes would be. Repos usually just have them in the corners. Philip, I got a question for you.
Sure.
You can only grab 5 things in your collection. What would those 5 be?
Well, Tom Everhart, lithograph, the Armadillo World Headquarters. This Knowlton's ice cream sign. Possibly some Lone Star beer advertised it, and a pearl clock, that spinner clock.
Okay.
That would probably be it.
So the pearl spinner clock, some Lone Star beer advertising to be determined.
To be determined
at the time, and
yes.
And the third one was
the Knowltons.
The Knowltons?
The porcelain Knowltons oval that hung out in front of the mom and pop grocery store.
Okay.
Because it belonged to my friend who passed away, and he wanted me to have that if I did something for him, and I did, and it came true. That sign,
that sign means a lot to you.
Oh God, you have no idea of what it means. I have a friendship of a man I knew since we were about 14, 15 years old, and he dies at age 62.
Oh gosh, that's too bad.
I cherish that sign.
As we explored Philip's collection, I struggled to categorize it. It was dominated by display advertising, but it seemed to mean so much more to him. Then it became crystal clear. This collection featured many specific pieces from his past. The first radio station he worked at, a sign from the very club he used to go to in the 70s to see amazing bands, or the piece that once belonged to a lifelong friend who passed away. Philip's personal scrapbook lived on these walls. Like he said in our interview,
do your homework. That means study a little bit, go around. The internet has opened wide, vast, especially eBay. Go what it's selling for. It may not be going for. People do lie to you. People will sell you something just to sell it. Oh, that's rare. Oh, that's this and that. But my advice to you, take your time. Go easy. Limit yourself, budget yourself. Always, if you're married, cross it over with your wife. Don't be buying things on the side, getting yourself in debt, things like that. So take it a day at a time. Enjoy what you're doing. Surround yourself with what you love, and eventually you will get rewarded for it.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for watching Collector Guys. Please hit subscribe to see more videos, and always remember, surround yourself with what you love.